Greetings and salutations. Today we're having an unboxing of Flames of War Mid-War United States M4 Sherman Tank Platoon. Now the box here shows you what you have here. 5 Shermans to the platoon. If you look at the back, it gives you your basic assembly instructions. It also gives you your contents, where you have 5 plastic M4 Sherman tanks, 1 tank commander sprue, 1 decal sheet or transfer sheet, and 5 different unit cards. This ought to be interesting, but this is meant to go with the Fighting First book. So let's go and check it out. Okay, and we slide everything out. So, okay, you've got 5 sprues. They're exactly the same. I'm pretty sure these are just like these would be the sprues that the Tanks game would have. So you can look here on the, put that off to the side. So you can look here on the top view. Now, the thing about the M4 Sherman, it's one of the reasons why I got it, that this is the cast hull version of the Sherman, which was still there even in late 44, going on into 45. So this can be used for late war as well, although it's not necessarily going to have the upgrades the other Shermans have. Now, if you look more closely here, this is the turret. This would be the turret designed before they added in a, I believe it's not an oval hatch, but something, they added a hatch for the loader, because that's something that they realized pretty quickly with the Shermans, that, you know, the tank goes up, if it blows up and the crew needs to get out, that the loader needs to have a chance as well. You can look on the back here. It's got a lot of little extra things in here. Jerry cans, extra track, an extra bogey wheel, canvas, so you can go and customize your vehicle depending on how you want to do that. Okay. And you do have the choice of leaving the hatch closed or open. That is up to you. What I've done to indicate my platoon commander, I would use the hatch open, but I didn't necessarily place a commander in there. So, but it works all the same. All right, so we got 5 of those. Now, what do we have here? Okay. Oh, nice. They put that in a separate baggie. So you have your decal sheet or decal sheet or transfer sheet or water slide transfer sheet with these Shermans here. Now, the markings that you're seeing here, this is particularly for the North Africa campaign, that the stars there and the bars that you're seeing there, that it would go around the turret. This is originally for North Africa, all the signs and all that. One of the problems that they found was that the African dust would make these a lot harder to see, and sometimes accidents happened where they fired on their own guys because they did not see the stars. They didn't recognize it. So, but still, this is a cool thing to have in there. It's got the serial number. It's got the American flag in there. America. Okay, let's put that off to the side here. Now, you have your tank commander sprue here. Again, you have a choice as to how do you want to, whoops, let's put that off to the side. How you want to, which commander you'd like to put on there. I hope Battlefront didn't do any Brad Pitt lookalikes in there. I don't know. That might be some legal issues, having an actor's likeness there for Fury. But I do believe that his character was there in the fighting in North Africa. So that was the impression. So let's take a look at the cards that they are giving us. They said they gave us 5 cards. So let's look at here. Let's take a quick look here for the, I'm going to try to zoom this in a little bit. Okay. Let's go with it. Okay. So these are the formations in the fighting first. So you know that the Sherman it can form its own tank company. Now, again, that's not, at that point right now, this would be the best American tank at that time in North Africa. The Stuarts were lighter, but the M4 Sherman was not designed to be a main battle tank to start with. A lot of people get that idea. Well, the Sherman was, you know, as a tank-to-tank fighter, it wasn't all that good. Well, it wasn't designed for that. It was supposed to be an infantry support vehicle. The M10s were the ones that were part of the tank destroyer branch, where the philosophy of seek, strike, and destroy was the force. Those were the tanks that would go and specifically take out German tanks. Lightly armed, okay, but having a big gun, it was devastating in its own right. You also have the M3 Stuart and the M3 Lee, which is, you know, the brother of the Grant. And then, of course, you got the American Rifle Company. And on the back, you've got your support units that you are allowed to, okay. 0 to 2 Armored Recon Patrol, 0 to 2 M7 Priests or 105s, 0 to 1 M3 Stuart OP, okay, the T-28E1 37 millimeter Armored Anti-Aircraft Platoon, and 0 to 1 P-40 Warhawk Fighter Flight, I should say. So that's it for the formation card. You also get, okay, you got your movement orders here, which is very typical for version 4. So that's good. That works out. And now with the remaining cards, deal with the individuals themselves. So I'll just go off here. First off, you got your Sherman. I'm not putting this too close for you guys, but basically this is an HQ card, a front armor of 6, side and rear 4, a top of 1. Again, for that point of the war, that wasn't bad. But where the Americans are going to be suffering is the motivation is confident, but the skill is green. It's a 5+. That makes it harder. And really, it reflects that the Americans were inexperienced. They were trained, but they were very much inexperienced when they landed in North Africa. There were some nasty lessons that the Germans handed to them, like places like Kasserine Pass. And the American armor and the infantry, they had to learn to work together. And that's where General Patton had the foresight of training troops in Southern California, in the Southern California desert, to get them used to the hot, sandy place that they were going to. On the back, it shows you the point values for the M4 Sherman tank and what formation that you can contain in your HQ. Okay, so you have here an M4 Sherman tank platoon. It's a tank unit. It does have smoke. It does have the stabilizer in there, the 50 caliber machine gun, self-defense AA. Nice to have, very useful. The M4 Sherman MGs, halted or moving, the rate of fire is still a big whopping 2. Okay, but still, it's better. Now, being hit on a 3, which is aggressive, yikes. That makes it a little bit harder. But again, we are reflecting the inexperience of the Americans in North Africa. The other card, it's the exact same thing. Okay, so they gave us 2 cards for that. I'm not sure why. But on the back, it gives you the special rules and self-defense AA, the stabilizer, which essentially, the British, they pretty much had the same thing for the Shermans that they got at El Alamein, except that the British have better ratings in terms of skill, motivation, and being hit on, most likely. I have not seen the card yet for the Sherman for that. But the British did disable the stabilizer. Other than that, it was the same tank, as part of the Lend-Lease program. Okay. Now, keep in mind that these sprues can also be used for the tanks game as well, the tank skirmish game. Some people enjoy it. Some people, they are indifferent. I play primarily Flames of War and Team Yankee. But on the back here, just wanted to point that out, that you can, in fact, magnetize your turret and your hull, which I find that's pretty useful to do. That allows you to, I don't know, I like doing it, and I have magnets for that. All right. Hey, I'm hoping that this review will benefit you guys, and, you know, have fun with it. This is the mid-war version for Flames of War. But if you don't like it, but you want the 15mm Sherman tanks, yes, absolutely. All right, take care, guys. Have a good one, and God bless.